Kia ora everybody and welcome to the Good Day Matrix. My name is Daz and today I'm sitting in my favourite cafe in Hamilton called Snack Baby with its owner and founder, Kat McIntosh. Thank you very much for having us today. Kat is a business owner, a mum, the best peppermint slice maker in the world and the most epic vegan chef in the Tron, which is why I bring everybody here. So thank you very much for having us. Today we're going to talk about all things wellness. So I'm pretty sure I've explained it many times to you as I come in for my treats, but it's not just about your body and it's not just about your mind, it's identity, where you come from, knowing who you are. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, that you know the things that work for you to try and come back, you know, instead of just sinking, and the communities that you connect to and the environment that you create around yourself, but how you create this environment for other people as well. So with body, are there any like daily routines or rituals that you have that you really connect to that make you feel good?
Not really. I'd say the only thing as far as like a routine or something that is relative to, like, if we think of bodies and moving and doing things like that, is running. I love running. That's my thing that I like to do. I can take some time out. It's like quiet. It's my time out. But in saying that, I'm not great at routines. So it's something that I just kind of pick up and drop off, dependent on lots of things. No, really, like, we have routines as far as getting up, getting dressed, getting kids to school, all that kind of stuff, but every day's just kind of winging it, really. Take it as it comes.
Do you feel like sometimes when you just need to run, or you're like, today I need to run?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes I don't know, I kind of maybe just get into my head a little bit about things, or I'm feeling a bit like stressed or annoyed. If something's annoying me, then like, I'll just go for a run. And I can kind of like get it out. I usually listen to like a podcast, usually a murder podcast, like case files.
Nothing related.
I'm not as like psychopath or anything. They're interesting. It makes you run fast because you're like, oh my God. No, but it just means that I have space and I can chill out and there's no distraction and it's got my own pace and
nice.
Fresh air is good.
Yeah.
And you're doing something, so you feel like, you know, you're running your frustration out and you're like, and I've done some exercise.
Yeah, and just that fresh air too, just gives you
huge difference.
Different perspective almost. Just
running. I mean, I was in a really good routine with it, and then winter came. So sometimes I'm better than
story
other times.
All of our lives. Honestly, it's that winter wellness. It's how you find that next thing in winter, because
you have to find
so
something.
Dark and cold at night.
Winter is depressing. And you're limited to what you can do. So if you've got something that's a bit of a coping mechanism, or you fit it into your routine, or you know that it does well for you, and then all of a sudden it's like, I mean, it's always an option, but it's a lot harder to motivate yourself. And it can be a bit of a spiral, really.
And it comes a little bit to safety depending on the time you run too. Like
yes,
at the moment
hugely.
It's dark at 6. You go running, you know, like you need a buddy then, because you don't want to be running by yourself, and you may not like running with someone else. Like
I really don't. It's definitely it's a solo sport for me.
I tell you, it's winter, like you start to lose the sunshine, and it's a mood affector, like it, and the cold, and it's
you don't want to get out of bed in the morning to go for a run. Like, you can't think of anything worse, even though you know that actually you'd probably feel a lot better for it. So
the mental chat's like, no, not today.
I don't mind the odd like workout in the lounge, but you know, when you haven't done that for a while, it's not really something you just want to get up into.
I agree. So agree.
It's hard to build those habits and routines.
Have you done any runs like competitive, like a 10K?
Not recently. I actually had a goal this year of doing a half marathon, which I have done probably maybe like 5 or so years ago.
Nice.
Which I'm still really proud of. It's still a huge achievement. That's like 21 kilometers, which is like, there's a big mental component in that. It's not just running. So I really wanted to do that again this year, and if I had have just kept running through the cold, I would probably be ready to do one now, but I stopped. Well, actually, I got sick. I got a cold, and then I was like, well, I can't run, I've got a cold. And then I was like, now it's too cold, and I don't want to get sick again, so yes. But I actually did go for a run this week.
Nice.
Yeah, just a little one. Yeah. So, getting back on that horse.
There's Round the Bridges in November.
Yes, I've done that a few times, but not for years.
Yeah.
So,
we did the Huntley. So one of our team was like,
should do it.
He goes, I'm going to run the half. And we're all like, damn, all right. And I was like, I'll walk the 10. And so I did. So I walked the 10 with two others. And he ran the half. And he was like,
wow.
I'm so proud of him. But he couldn't believe he did it either. Like, and he said that last part's just
it's no small feat.
Nah.
Yeah.
So yeah, do it.
Very cool.
We'll see you then.
Yeah.
I haven't booked myself.
Okay, well now I feel obliged.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm about to have a whole lot of free time on my hands, so what better to do than run?
Achieve the goal you set.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes, you're right. Set a goal. That's a good way to get back into it.
There's a guy called James Clear. I've talked about him quite a lot recently because I just got sent this video like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And I never watched it. When someone's like, you should watch this. I'm like,
yeah. Put it on my list.
Yeah, amongst all the other stuff I'm going to do. And so I finally watched it the other day and I was like, damn, should have watched this 4 months ago. Fucking game changer. So his name's James Clear, Clear, Clear.
Yes,
I was like, how good of a name for this guy.
Right.
And this video was 1% better every day. Something like that.
Yeah.
Which then the maths threw me because it said something like, so then you're 37% better by the end of the year. I was like, that doesn't make sense to me, 1% better.
Maths is not my strong point
neither.
Anyway.
So someone that explained it to me and they're like, it makes perfect sense. I was like, okay.
If you say so.
That's why the professionals do what they do. But he talks about, like, we often say, like, I want to do a half marathon. Because you don't want to do a half marathon. You want to be a runner. Because then you don't have this end goal of going, I'm going to do this half marathon on the whatever the date. It's I'm going to be a runner so that I'm past that. So you train and you get to that point, but then afterwards you don't
keep
stop.
going. Yeah.
Because often people go, done it, tick that off my list.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So it was such a game changer.
Maybe I have to look it up.
Yeah. It's it's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but it was it was about like aggregating all of those gains that you make and what a difference that can make as you keep going. It's really cool.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So as a business owner,
yes,
it's hard enough being a business owner, let alone a business owner of a small business, and then let alone a business owner in a pandemic.
Yeah.
What were some of your coping mechanisms? Because I imagine the overwhelm must have been, and the stress and the anxiety of all of it would have been pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a journey. The funny thing is that I talked about having like a vegan cafe for probably like 5 or 6 years before I actually did it.
Wow.
And then of course when I finally am like, I'm going to do it, it's 6 months before like a pandemic. Probably the first in 100 years and the last we'll see in our lifetime, so that was good timing. It's been a funny time, I guess. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's not, maybe it's just a coping mechanism I have in a way, but I kind of have this life motto. This has a swear word, so you might have to like believe it. And it's basically, if you can't fix it, fuck it. Because I'm a really strong believer in there's no point worrying about things or stressing about things if it's actually out of your control. And so I guess with the pandemic, and being a business owner, what could I do?
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything. So I actually, and maybe it was a bit ignorant of me, I don't know, but I actually was like, firstly, I didn't really know what I was doing as a new business owner anyway. Yeah. So I was like, well, I don't know what I can do. I can't do anything really. So I actually just enjoyed, with lockdown for example, I actually just took that time and enjoyed it with my family. And it was great. I did lots of walking and running and bike riding and all that stuff that all families with children did. That meant we weren't all going crazy. Yeah. And then, as far as the business was concerned, I guess I've always been really lucky that I've had a phenomenal team on my side. And so, we talked right the way through and made plans and figured out what we were doing. And then it really just came down to do what you can with what you have. And what we had was a really small window to provide our offering to our really small customer base that we had managed to build up in that first 6 months. And just hope for the best. And I don't know, stress and anxiety is not really something that I feel like I take on. I guess because I'm like, what am I going to do about it? Nothing, and it just, whatever, just wing it, I guess.
Flippin' good mantra.
So, that's not to say, I think that deep down I probably definitely do have some anxiety and things, stress building up, but you just kind of ride the wave and just you know, do what you can. Everybody suffered in the pandemic in one way or another, so I did find some comfort in that, which sounds a bit weird, but you know, like, you knew it wasn't a you-centric thing. Like, everyone was struggling, everyone was under the pump, lots of people didn't know what they were doing. Yeah.
The thing too I found, and I think this is my old age, I don't know how old I am, I'm 36, and I feel like now...
You're only 3 years older than me.
Oh, there you go. Thanks. Only. I used to sweat small stuff, like really, and blame myself for lots of stuff. Oh, if I'd just done this, this would have been different or whatever. And I don't know if it's old age or having kids or whatever, but I'm the same now. I'm like, I'll give everything I have, and then if I couldn't have given any more, I couldn't have given any more. Like, there's no more money in the bank to do the next part of what you want to do, or there's literally no more time in the day to do some more emails or drive some more customers or do some more, whatever that is, like. And so now I'm much better in terms of that. Like, I go to sleep. I used to lie in bed and worry, you know, and that's years. That's since I was a kid of, you know, I haven't done enough study for this exam. I haven't done this. I forgot to talk to this person about this, and should I have said that to this person? And now I just go to sleep because I somehow have learned to park it and just be like,
and I think you have to just learn to be like, I'm just going to put a pin in that because I can't do any more with it. I just can't. And so what's the point of stressing about something that you can't do anything about? It's pointless. You're just taking away from, you know, something else that's probably worth your energy.
And probably forgetting to be present in moments because your mind's still...
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I definitely still had, and I still do, and through this whole business journey and parenting journey, just life journey, I guess, you definitely have things that are like, oh God, they're in the back of your mind and they're affecting you whether you acknowledge it or not. But I don't know, you know, everybody has something that affects them at some point in time. But I guess, I don't know why I've always kind of had that mantra and that mindset that if it's just like, if it's big and you can't change it and it's not really impacting you, you know, like, don't lose sleep over it.
On you.
You just move on. And I mean, maybe that has served me better in some situations than others, but I don't know. I like to think it's a good way to be.
It's a beautiful way to be. It's a beautiful way to be. And it's cool because you'll be role modeling that to your kids too. Like,
well, I mean, I hope in a good way. I hope they're not just like, who cares about anything? Mum said don't worry about it, so who cares about school? No, hopefully they won't be like that.
No, they'll take those those values out of it, or just the role modelling of not being in a panic situation, or
that's right.
like, and being able to be level-headed. Just,
and I think sometimes as well, like I don't know, I think there's, like, you can be doing, like, if what you're doing is showing in the way you work and the rapport you're building and the actual product that you're putting out, I think like, that's what needs your energy and that's what matters. And everything that's going on in the background that might be like a time constraint or a money constraint or whatever, like, you've just got to leave it at the door because you know, it's going to hinder everything you do, and you'll never be able to get anywhere if it's, you know, holding you back from being
so true,
doing the thing that you love and you want to be doing.
Yeah, so true. We talk about identity, obviously, and I think that plays a huge part also, you know, like how we are today is what we've seen, you know, and other people that we've been surrounded with, and how we've sort of come up. But where do you hail from, and what's your background?
I think that's a funny question because it's not something that I personally ever really give much thought to. But I guess it's funny, you always want to know about other people's backgrounds and where they're from, where their families live and stuff. But so for me, I'm born and bred in Hamilton.
Me too.
I love the Tron. I love it. I think it's amazing. I think we're lucky to be here. So boo to anyone who says otherwise.
I get so cut up when people are like Hamilton, and I'm like, hold on a minute.
Like, have you spent any of your life here?
We are good people.
And really, I think any town has its like pros and cons, you know. Born and bred here. My dad's from England, so he moved here when he was like a teenager, I think. I lived in Murupara for a little while, which most people don't know where it is. It's like 2 hours south of Rotorua. It's a real gem of a town. So moved there in third form, which was a real
upheaval,
tough time to move cities, but Now my mum lives in Wellington, and my dad actually just moved to a town called Blackball on the west coast in the South Island earlier this year. And I guess like we're pretty boring, really. Like we don't have any amazing cultural history behind our family, or that I know of anyway. I've got a big family. I've got how many? I think I'm one of 6 children from my mum. So I guess that is sort of shapes some of the way that I am. I guess like I kind of had a bit of a role model role, if you will, with my younger siblings from quite a young age. I don't know, I guess my dad's always had like an astonishing work ethic. He's worked so hard his whole life, he still does. And I guess that's probably something that I've taken on board as well. I don't know, I don't think my background's very interesting.
No, none of us ever do, but it's so is like my dad's a truck driver, drove for waste management for like 15 years and dump trucks and buses.
My dad worked at the dump when we were growing up.
Oh, me too.
So much
and we
had the best treasures. I had the best Barbie stuff.
Dad would come home and be like, do you like these toys? And he would have found something random. And I'd be like, I didn't before, but I do now. Because we didn't have a lot of money, so if I got toys, I'd be
My parents separated when I was like 5 or 6, so I spent most of my childhood with my dad, and so he was hustling, all the time to make sure. I was really lucky. I had the best of everything. I was really lucky, but I seen that he worked bloody hard for it. Nothing came easily, but it was great. I had a great childhood. I hiked the Southern Alps with him, and when I was about 10, went to Australia. I bungee jumped. I would just amazing things.
Oh, that's amazing.
So really lucky for
It's a shout out to parents though. How they've done, like my mum and dad, I wanted to do athletics, and so I was good at it. I started at 7, and when I was 10 you have to have spikes, those shoes that are the proper shoes, and for mum and dad that was a big deal. And so mum trawled, we used to have the coupon books, so the coupons, and she found one, there was a Sterling Sports I think, or Athletes or something here on Victoria Street. And so she cut it out and she gave it to Dad. She's like, you can take it's these shoes. And they were these shoes.
It's very specific.
Just get those shoes, that's it. Blah, blah, blah. No problem. Dad takes me in there and he's like, what shoes do you like? And I was like, no, it's that one.
Mum said this.
And he goes, don't worry about that. What shoes do you like?
Not the ones on the coupon.
And it wasn't the ones on the coupon, no. And I was like, it doesn't matter, Dad, I'll get that. And so I grabbed the shoes I was supposed to, and he goes, no, what ones do you like? And there were these bumblebee bright yellow, like fluoro road worker yellow,
amazing,
and black, and they were bumblebee shoes, and I was like, those ones are pretty cool. And he was like, let's try them on then. I was like, no, and so I could just imagine the fight that was going to happen. And he was like, let's try them on. So he tried them on, and they were
perfect.
No different than the other shoes in terms of feel.
They just looked
but they looked
probably
mean, and I was like, that's so cool. So he goes, right, we're going to get those. And I can't remember the price difference, but it would have been a significant amount. Even if it was $30 for that, that's $30 more than it should have been. And then we went up to the counter, and Dad goes, hold on a minute. All the kids have the bags they put their shoes in.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get you a bag for your shoes. And I was like, no, Mum, her literal words were only the shoes.
So you're probably like, oh my God, we're going to be in so much trouble.
And he was like, no, I'm going to get you that bag. And so we stood there, and there was this black and green Puma bag, like a forest green.
Wow.
And I was like,
big colours.
That one, please. And so grabbed this bag. Mum, when we got home, she just was so wild at life. But anyway, that bag stayed with me till I was 10 years old, and I used that Spikes bag for every event, for netball, for athletics, for tennis, everything I played.
It kind of paid for itself.
And it fell apart when we moved. My husband and I moved into our second house.
Oh my gosh,
so
had it for so long.
I was 24, 25,
wow.
And it literally disintegrated.
So it kind of paid for itself, I guess.
But it meant something, like
sentimental value with it.
Dad getting up at 5 o'clock every morning and getting home late at night, you know how hard that extra $30 or whatever
what it meant, or what they missed out on for you to have that. And
I think that's to be aware of. I think
when you really take it for granted until you become a parent yourself, and you something does change in you, and you get a real different. I guess your mindset changes, and your responsibility changes. Your voice, I think, you find it, and you really learn to sacrifice for yourself because your children mean more, you know. And I think until you experience that yourself, you just really don't know what your parents went through to give you all the things that you just like probably were like, oh cool, another Barbie, or like whatever, you know. Oh, a new dress. Oh, Dad wouldn't buy me those shoes. Like you just those
are the things you remember.
But meanwhile you had like a warm house and you got to get driven to school every day, or you know, got to go to your friends' birthday parties, and it probably, all those little things probably cost your parents something.
Yeah. That's what, even my son is a little bit popular at school, so we have party after party after party.
I know the feeling.
And so he's like, this one likes this, and I'm like, that's great that they like that, but we've set a budget of this, because otherwise
100%. No, we can't turn up with a $100 Lego set. Sorry.
So I set this little, and it's little, but it's $20 per party, and that's.
But that adds up, and like.
But you can get cool stuff for that.
You
too.
can.
You just got to find it.
So one of my friends who I think she's just so amazing. But she for her kid's birthday, she's got 4 boys. So like, she spends her time looking after those boys. They range from like 3 to 10 as the eldest, and her partner works full time. He sings, so he's off doing all sorts of things, weddings and events and whatnot. Anyway, for birthdays, because she's really conscious of waste and spending and stuff like that. And I guess with parties, the time that's spent should really be what's more important than what your kid gets bought. So what her rule is that they ask for a can of food, and they then donate that to Women's Refuge, and a donation of so you can give $2 or $10 or whatever. Nice. And then with the money that the kid gets from the birthday, they can go and choose something. So then, they get something within a budget, which is dictated by how generous I guess your friends are or can be. But again, it takes the pressure off as well, because I think, I know there's definitely been times for me when after my ex-husband and I separated, and I was, more or less on my own with the kids, and things were tight, and it was so stressful feeling like you had to turn up with a certain caliber of gift, and it was like, holy crap, maybe I can't put gas in my car this week just so that we can provide for this party, and now I'm like, that's so stupid, like who cares? And
no kid goes like, Harry didn't bring me a present.
I'm never inviting them again. I'm not their friend anymore because they didn't bring me a present.
Or his present was only $5. Like,
my son just went to a birthday party actually at Leap or whatever, that trampoline park, and they were so caught up, all the boys so caught up in playing together and hanging out, that half the presents actually just got forgotten about and got left there. So like, you know, I was kind of like, wow, good to know.
It's just a precedent. You said we did the same, what your friend did. So my husband's cousin did the can to donate and a gold coin, and so for Harry's 6th birthday, that's what I said, and they were all like, oh, it's a bit mean though, isn't it?
No.
And I was like, no, it's not. And he was wrapped, counting out his $1 coins afterwards.
And I think it's a good, you don't want to breed children that expect everything all the time. And we've always had a rule in our house around Christmas that it's not about presents. It's really not. Like, it's about the time that you get to spend with your family, and we're really fortunate to be able to do that. So if you get presents, like, it's a huge bonus. And my daughter's actually extended that to birthdays. She's like, maybe I'll get presents and maybe I won't. And, like, deep down, she obviously hopes that she'll get tons of flamboyant gifts. But she's also kind of like, well, maybe I won't, but at least my friends come. So,
it's so cool.
It's a good, it's like one of those good foundation things that, kids can grow on, and as adults, like, we can sort of take from it as well.
100%. So with changing tact, but within community, I mean, you have this beautiful plant-based vegan business. What drove you to have a vegan business? Where did that come?
I guess it's, being vegan myself was obviously a massive driving force. I think it was just, I was actually working at a cafe, and I was the front of house manager, and it was a really busy cafe, and we just served a lot of meat, which is fine, each their own, but I think it just really started to get to me being like, do you want to add bacon to that? Do you want eggs with that? Things that I just like, it was so morally not, like, just against how I live. And then also I could see from being there, like I said, it was a really busy place, so I knew that there was a massive demand for plant-based food, whether it be that you're allergic, you're vegetarian, your kid's got an allergy, so the whole family's plant-based, whatever, it all ranges. And then obviously myself, like I wanted to go out and eat somewhere, like, and there was nowhere that you could go without having to be like, cool, well, there's probably contamination, or they probably are rolling their eyes, or I'm sick of paying for coffee and getting the wrong milk, or whatever. And then I guess I had actually one of my best friends who owns the restaurant in Grey Street that I mentioned earlier. I guess I'd seen his journey of being like opening his own business and battling through because it was his passion. It's what he wanted to do. And I just sort of thought, well, I can do that. I want to do something. Yeah. Why not? And then I guess I just, I had years of veganism behind me, and I knew there was a really decent community and everybody needed something. And I guess from my job, because I was fortunate enough to be in a manager role, I got to learn a lot of the sort of ins and outs and numbers and all that crap that isn't my strong point. Yeah. And I just thought, you know what, fuck it, and I just did it. Yeah. But I talked about it for years. So when I finally said, you know what, guys, to my people, and I said, I've leased a space and I'm going to open a cafe, they were like, yeah, like finally you're doing it. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, what am I doing? But I mean, I've not been proven wrong. Like there's absolutely a market for it, and it's continually growing and growing. It's definitely not slowing.
That's so cool.
Just saw a gap in the market and thought, well, someone's got to do it. So why not me?
And it's so like I'm not vegan per se. I don't like a lot of meat, but I'm not vegan, but I'm dairy intolerant. So my family. Yeah. And so that is incredibly difficult when someone's like, let's go out for a coffee or let's go out for lunch. And then they're like, where can you eat?
Yeah, and then you kind of feel like a burden. And then again, it's that whole like, well, is it actually dairy free? Yes. Have they actually put the right milk in my coffee?
Yeah. And that's happened so many times to me where I'm like, is that soy? And they're like, yeah, all good. And then I take one sip and I'm like, damn it. And then and they're like, oh no, it is. It's just creamy now because we've changed it to a different soy milk. I'm like, oh, okay. And so then I'll drink more. I'm like, no. And then
you're like, I'm gonna know if this is wrong. Trust me, I'm gonna know. I mean, we definitely have found, like I've definitely found that not only, obviously vegan is our market, I guess, predominantly, but we've definitely got a huge range of people that are, egg or dairy intolerant, and it just becomes a really safe option for them. Yeah. We also don't offer like raw slices, which is often what you can choose from. I personally think there's no room in the world for raw slices. So it's a novelty too. Like people can come and they can actually eat something nice. There's some people that do those raw slices beautifully, but that's normally the don't get me wrong. There is a place and they can be done so well. But I personally not a fan. But that's normally the only option. Especially when it's the only option. So you've got like the bliss ball, and they kind of lump in the like gluten-free vegan, and it's like it's really not the same thing. They're like, nah, who cares? We'll just cover our bases. And it's generally like that one bliss ball that's okay for you to eat, or a bowl of chips, or a slice that you look at and you're like, I know it's raw, but it doesn't look appealing at all to me. So I don't know. I guess I didn't really. I didn't like the options that I could get either. So I was like, well, why not? Well, as you know, we love coming here. You're not the only ones.
We like your weekly faces. Oh, you guys are back again. Just to be in the neighbourhood. Sometimes I'm not. I purposely drive her out of absolutely nowhere so that I can come and get my treats.
But I think probably one of the most incredible things about this business journey for me, which is probably a bit off topic, but is the people that we've met. Like we've formed some like incredible relationships. We've seen people like get married and have babies and like, and we feel really like a part of all these really monumental things in these lives because we've just been able to build this incredible rapport. And I don't know if that's because of sort of the vegan community and it's like-minded or whatever, or if it's just that, I don't know, people really like what we're doing and I don't know, I guess we're pretty social around here, like it's pretty casual. Well, we love a yarn.
You literally just stepped us into community, which is the next topic. That's exactly.
Oh, I thought that's where we already were. I can't remember what.
That's what it is. Like when you come in here, You're always greeted warmly. You guys, normally I walk down and I hear you sing
you can hear
before I get in. Like, it's happy and it's
You know what
welcome.
I think when we eventually leave this space, all the people in the apartments will probably be like, thank God, I don't have to listen to that singing all the time.
But it's good, and it's like, you know, when Stu and Camille had their pie off or
Yes.
whatever that was called.
Yes.
You know, and I came in here and you were like, vegan community got in behind that one.
Yeah.
You know, you've built that. That's not just vegans like me or like dairy intolerant people going, oh yeah, I'll get in behind that. Finally, a pie for us. It's.
I think it definitely existed prior to Snack Baby being a thing, but I think I like to think that we've definitely played a role in maybe growing it or strengthening it, or you know, all of the above. But it was nice to know that Stu needed some vegan backing and he knew exactly where to come to, and we were like, oh yeah, we'll get behind it. Your pie doesn't sound great, but we'll support it.
Did you even make it?
No, he never actually came back to us about it, and I think it's because they rigged the whole competition and he was supposed to have won it. That's my personal opinion, but anyway.
You should make it just.
It is what it is.
Yeah, just be like, and we made it for you. You're
I'm not even sure how we would like encompass his ideas into a product really, but you know, where there's a will, there's a way.
Make it a different one and be like, this is better.
Yeah.
So
next time, this is the pie you should do.
We've got you covered. Future reference. Are there other communities that you're a part of? So,
not so much, I guess, other than my own, you know, just sort of friends as family community, which I think everybody kind of has. Like I said earlier, my parents and my parents don't live in Hamilton anymore, and my siblings are all over the place. So, I've kind of got my own little community, which is, you know, my small handful of close friends that I've been fortunate enough to have. And I guess as well, my children go to the Rudolf Steiner School in Ruratuna, so that's a really special community. It's a cool community, and which obviously I'm a part of. And I guess that's been like, my kids have been at the daycare, the kindy, and now my son's 10, so he's, you know, well into his school journey. So it's been a huge part of our lives, and we know a lot of the parents well there. And so I'd say that's a community that I'm part of and I'm really proud of.
We often turn up at the gala each year.
Oh, the medieval carnival. It's so it's huge. It's such a big deal. So like, as a parent of the school, that's like, that gets talked about for like 6 months leading up, and the pressure as a parent to like contribute is huge, and it's because it's such a community. The school is such a community that everybody really does just have to chip in to make it happen.
I'm a qualified early childhood teacher in another life.
Yes.
So studied all of the different theories, and so Rudolf Steiner. And we got to do, I think it was a 3-day visit there into, is that Emu? No, what's their
for the daycare. They have, it's been so long since my kids do that. They've got Meadow House and it might be Rimu Cottage actually. There's like 2 of them, and there was like a play group as well. It's something like that. I should know. But my excuse is we're past the daycare phase, so now I don't need to know about it. But yes, it's something
magic because it's a different. Everyone's got their different theories and approaches, but
of course,
it was so much a community that they were building.
For us, it's been. I just can't imagine my kids' schooling life being any other way, and I really do think that it's hugely to do with that community.
Are your kids artsy?
Phil, my son is very musical. He's amazing with instruments, and that's a huge part of the curriculum in Steiner. So that's really cool to have seen that. I didn't know that about him, and I don't think maybe we would have known that about him if that wasn't where he was at. So that's pretty cool. My daughter's just a bit of a whirlwind. I don't really know. She's very much still finding her thing, but they're creative.
Steiner very much is that create. You know, like it really is all imagination.
Just sort of nourishing all that creativity that everybody sort of has, and I don't know. And kids are so wildly different. I mean, you'd know, even in the same family, you're like, how are you? How?
Streets apart.
But it still seems to work super well for everybody. So
very cool. So with environment as our last pillar. So with your business, I mean, you've created an amazing environment in terms of a welcoming environment, but I'm imagining sustainability is a really important part as well of what you're doing. But tell us about environment and what it means to you.
If I'm honest, I don't have a huge, I don't have a great answer for that question. I think the environment is such if you talk in ways of like sustainability and doing better for our planet and that sort of thing, I think it's such it's just such a big melting pot of ways that you can help. But I guess with the business, in terms of like trying to be as sustainable as we can, we do things like all of our packaging is it's like cardboard or napkins, things like that biodegrade easily, or everything's bio if it can be. We charge for our takeaway cups, which unfortunately doesn't actually discourage most people.
It doesn't.
Which is funny, like to the point where people will actually be like sitting in, but they'll still ask to have one.
Oh wow!
Which was kind of, we could just be like no.
Yeah.
But then you kind of, you're running a business, so you've got to think about it from both ways. But we've recently, one of the coolest things I guess that I'm really proud of in a sustainability frame is I've actually got this handy dandy little thing here actually. We've just started donating giving all of our Tetra Packs to this company called Saveboard, which is new, and they shred them all up, and they've got a big factory, and they make them so it's like plywood, so they'll build with it. So
wow,
it's like a real new initiative, but there's heaps of places that are sending them all there to be recycled and reused, which is incredible because they're not. You can't recycle them. They just go in the landfill. So that's really exciting. And I guess really, aside from using paper straws and bio this and bio that, the fact that we're not contributing to animal agriculture, I truly, truly strongly believe that is us hugely doing our part for the environment. Yeah. I still drive to work every day, but, so I'm not perfect. But we recycle a lot at home. We compost our food scraps. I do the best I can with my business. It is hard as a business because everything comes in plastic and it's all driven around in trucks, and so there's some things that are really out of your control. But again, it's that sort of do what you can with what you have, and I think that we do our best to we recycle all of our stuff at work as well, and put our cardboard in the thing, and
we talked to Casey Romer a couple months ago, and she said there was this meme or this thing on Instagram. She's like, thank God I read that, which was to the women who do their best to have their recyclable cup in the car, but sometimes use a takeaway cup. Thank you to the woman who, and it was just basically you're doing your best.
You can't be perfect.
You can't be perfect 100% of the time, but your intention is good. Thank you.
Yes, I actually had a very similar conversation with an incredible lady called Sandra Jensen is her name. She's local, maybe you shouldn't hear her, she's very cool. But anyway, she was, why were we talking about it? I don't know, but she basically said that. She said, you can't be perfect all the time, but if your intentions are good, you're kind of already on the right path. And if you're, if most of the time you use your keep cup, or you choose to use period undies, or you're making some kind of change, then you're still doing your part, even if it's so small. But if in your mind you're like, I need to be better at that, or I need to remember to bring my keep cup more, or the intention is there and your intention is good, so
and you're aware.
Awareness is a massive part of it. And I think if more people just sort of looked at it like that, because it's so easy to just put it all in the too hard basket, and I'm really guilty of doing that.
Aren't we all?
And I guess it's my little community that are like, oh my God, you need to recycle that. What are you doing? Or whatever. And you're like, oh, fine.
Have you heard of a girl, or not a girl, a lady, Nicola Turner, and she's got Mainstream Green?
No, I don't think so.
She lives in Cambridge, and she does talks about sustainability. And I took my friend with me to this talk, and I was pretty green to it all. And I said to her, I was like, it is easy. So sounds counterproductive. But then I went and bought myself a keep cup, and she's obviously saying you don't need to buy lots of stuff, but you have to set up. So I went and got a glass bottle and a keep cup, because I'm the worst, because I'm always in the car. I need bottles.
Like pump bottles.
And you get stuck. So have my glass bottle now, and I've got my keep cup that sits in the glove box in my desk.
It's just a small habit, and you just if you want to make the change, you will. I think.
And that's what you said. Just start little, because if you try and change the world and go,
too much.
and I'm changing all my soaps, and I'm not going to use dishwashing liquid, and I'm going to do all this stuff. too hard, and all of a sudden you go, oh no, bottomed out and everything.
Yeah.
Whereas little things and they become a true
and it's
habit.
actually achievable. Yeah.
With the forgiveness, like she's crazy good. Like she went to a little cafe like similar to this, and they only had takeaway packaging, and so she was like, hold on a minute, walked down the road to a secondhand shop.
Oh, and I bought a
plate
container.
And a couple of forks, went back, ate there, washed them, took them back so they could resell them in the op shop.
Well, I guess it just proves, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think sometimes it is situational. Like it's very hard. Like as a parent, for example, like it's so hard, especially when you're working and doing other things, to try and package free lunches and not do this and not do that. But really, if it's as simple as making sure that your kids have a reusable drink bottle, or like, honey bee wrap. Yes, and we're really lucky that I think everything's quite readily available now. Like it's really easy to buy. I don't know, bamboo toothbrushes, or it's not. You don't have to go out of your way. It's just at your local supermarket. So the option to make a better choice is really easily available to everybody, or to most people.
I stupidly got my ears pierced at Christmas, and I've had nothing but ear infection after ear infection. But when I went to buy the cotton buds because I've got to put this special solution on, the girl said to me, honestly, months and months of that stuff on me. Oh my God. But she said, can you please buy these ones? So there were these two packets from the same company. Yeah. But she said, could you buy these ones? And I wouldn't have even
thought about it.
Well, it wasn't that I wouldn't have thought about it, but the packets looked almost identical. So it didn't even look like there was a difference. And she goes, that one is paper stems, so they all decompose. This one is plastic stems. She was, I really recommend people get the paper. I was like, sweet, like there was no skin off my nose to get
doesn't matter,
The packet didn't actually promote the fact very much. It's
quite interesting, eh? It almost makes you it does, I think, provoke the thought of like, why are companies, if there's an option to do the better thing, why not just do the better thing? Or as a big, supplier, supermarket, whatever, why stock both options? Like,
and it's not like the product, how sometimes if it's, I don't know,
substandard.
Like it's a difference, from a plastic straw to a paper straw, that the paper straw is going to get really like mucked around the top really quickly, particularly my kids that chew on them. But but that makes no difference because the tops, the things are still the same. It's just the handle. It doesn't. It's that sort of stuff. But so no, that's interesting. All right, I have some quick fire questions for you.
Oh yeah, okay, go.
It's my favourite
I'll
part
do my best.
3 things that made you smile today.
A memory that popped up on my Facebook of when my daughter was just learning to walk was really cool. I don't need to think so hard about this. No, the fact that it's my Friday makes me smile. And I don't know, just seeing people. I don't know, it's not very hard to make me smile. I think just being in my work environment makes me smile because it's mine.
And you've built
just a bit like cliche perhaps, but it is what it is.
That's cool. Favourite books?
I haven't read anything for so long. Anything by Jodie Picoult, which is probably my favourite author. I love Gone Girl. The book Gone Girl is incredible. The movie's also great. And I'm actually just started reading with my son Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And I just think that book is like so underrated. I think it's incredible.
My son loves what's his name? David Williams.
Oh yes,
Those books, like Gangster Granny and that.
They're actually so cool. That kind of like young adult style of writing, like it's really cool.
I'm like, I'm happy to read this. Cheers.
I can deal with this.
It's not terrible. 3 favourite smells.
Fresh bread. Fresh bread and fresh bread and maybe like my kids' heads. Which sounds real weird, but when you're something about smelling your kids, even if they're kind of gross, you're like, you're my kid, and that's how you smell, and I love it. I guess because it's it's not going to be around forever, right? And my perfume, I really love my perfume.
Nice. What's your perfume?
It's actually, I think the brand is Foxglove, and it's from mostly vegan, and it's an oil-based one, and it's
cool.
It's actually like a vanilla-y, tobacco-y, musky.
Nice.
Smell.
I'm going to get you to send it to me later.
There's a whole range of them, and they're all like good. Yeah.
Cool. What makes you laugh?
Oh shit, everything. I don't think I really ever struggle to find something to laugh about. Could be myself, often other people, because we're human and other people were funny to laugh at. Not in an unfortunate circumstance, but you know what I mean.
No.
Like my friend actually, just before you guys came, he took a sip of his long black, and then it was obviously really hot. And he kind of looked at me and like did this weird thing, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And it was obviously burning his mouth. He was like, "I was going to spit it out," and I was like, "I wish you had it. It would have been so funny." But I laughed anyway. I don't know. I laugh at heaps of things all the time. Yeah,
me too. Because I work with the coolest team, so we literally like laugh out loud, belly laugh.
Yeah, we often laugh here. This is really immature, but when we're squeezing the sauce bottles and they're kind of at the end and they make like a farty noise, you'll always catch us laughing at that.
As you should.
Yeah, farts
it's
are
a
funny.
moment. It's a moment missed. You know, 2 people have now said on this questionnaire of 3 favourite smells that their fart is one of their favourite smells. So we totally get it.
That's disgusting.
Each to their own. Each to their own.
Yeah.
Go to pick me up songs, and I'm sure you have a mean ass list.
Oh, Elton. I'm a huge fan of Elton John. Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting. I'm Still Standing. 2 of my like favourite songs at the moment are that Good For You song by Olivia Rodrigo or whatever her name is, and which is then reminded me how much I love Paramore. So I've been listening to them a lot. And that new song by Lord, that Solar Power song. Love it.
Big
yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done,
It
Lord.
changes all the time, my genre. Yeah, but
me too. I'm eclectic. Like I could go country,
be
R&B,
anything.
rock.
Yeah.
Like it just.
Dr. Dre's always good when you're like feeling like a bit of a badass. Yeah. But Elton's always in there. Love Elton.
We went to Elton in Dunedin. He was
oh my god,
flippin' amazing.
I can only imagine.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He's
amazing.
Yeah. Oh, legend.
Yeah. Like goosebumps when it hits him. You just.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Just felt good.
Yeah. Cool.
3 things you are grateful for today.
Oh, today, my health, mine and my children's health. Well, everybody that I love and care about, they're healthy. A roof over my head, like in a clean, dry, warm home. I think that's easy to take for granted. And probably my position in being a small business owner, like it definitely doesn't come without its challenges. And as you know, it's right now it's hugely overwhelming, but a lot of people don't even get the opportunity to get themselves in a position like this, so I'm very grateful for that.
And it's that warm dry home. Like we talked to Clothe Our Kids Waikato yesterday, and they are just desperate. They cannot keep up with the demand. These kids need pajamas and socks.
Oh, man.
It's just those basic things, and they're crying out for donations.
It's so there's a few things going on at the moment in the world that I just am like, how is this the world that we live in, where kids don't have socks and you know there's no mental health help, and there's just so many things, and I guess it really all just stems like, you know, from that lack of basic needs. It's so sad.
But we can all make that difference, and that's what I said to them. I was like, I'm going to do something with this. Like I can easily talk to a few people and go, clean out your kids' wardrobes. Have you just chucked a pair of pajamas up?
That's the job that like everyone needs to do. Everyone's kids have too many clothes.
Chuck your stuff in, you know,
make someone really needs it.
And think of that kid who, like they were saying, these 11-year-olds have never even had a new pair of anything. So then they try and make an effort when they package this gear up for them that they might get like 2 pairs of second-hand pants and 1 pair of new pants, or 1 pair of new pajamas, and they get something new. And they get this feedback like their kids never had anything new before. Thank you
crazy,
so much. But we can all, even if it's at the warehouse and you see a cheap pair of socks at a bunch of
someone will really
$3
appreciate them.
Grab them and flick them over. Favorite concert?
I haven't been to. I'm not really a concert goer, but probably AC/DC, which I just kind of happened to randomly get. Someone had a ticket and their friend pulled it out at the last minute, and they're like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, I mean, I like AC/DC, but I wouldn't have like paid to go to the concert. It was like amazing. And at the end of last year, I don't know if it's a concert, but I went to a thing called Symphony, which is kind of like all the classic rave songs, but it's the World Symphony Orchestra playing them, and it was just like mind-blowingly good.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. That was very cool. Yeah, very cool.
I know a lady that goes to morning raves in Auckland before
Morning
work.
raves?
Morning raves.
Oh, wow.
And it's like underground in Auckland.
What?
I think there's 2 places that do it. And so you go at like 5 o'clock in the morning and you
Holy
just
crap.
rage
What a
out.
way to set yourself up. You just feel like...
That's what she said.
all the
You're
time.
sober, but you turn up and it's dark and you just
Wow.
rage out to super loud music for 2 hours and then you walk out and you go to work.
Oh my God. Someone needs to bring that to Hamilton.
I know. I said that would just start my, because that's my, like, I love music. Music just sets you on that path, and I know if I'm feeling crap, turn the bloody radio on, put a good song on, and I can turn things around.
Have a good ballad in the car. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Carpool karaoke. I drive up to Auckland often, and I'm like, I perform to all the cars around me for 2 hours, and I don't care who's looking at me. I sound terrible in here, but they don't know that.
They don't need, I could be amazing for all they know.
Do you have any hobbies outside of being an amazing cook?
Not really. And I don't even think I'm that really an amazing cook. Like, just
take it.
Yeah, running when I make the time for it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, socializing. I guess that's kind of my hobby. That fills my cup. It's. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have any hobbies really. Yeah.
It's a difficult
just getting
one.
through life as a hobby.
Yeah,
I suppose.
When you're older, like you don't just pick new things up and give them a try.
No, you really don't. Actually, which is quite sad.
Yeah,
really.
and so this year, for that reason, I was like, I'm going to try pottery, and I'm the least creative person ever, and it was awesome.
There's actually a pottery studio opening where that cafe used to be at the end of the lane. Yeah, and so I'm like, right, I'm going to go and give that a whirl.
It was the coolest. I did it at the Waikato Park down by
Girls'
Seddon
Park.
Park.
Yes.
And it was awesome. I think it was 6 weeks, and I made like 6 pieces that you dipped in pretty colours. They're not perfect by any.
But you did it.
But I did it, and I've got each of the kids have a piece in their box that they get to have that I made for them for one day when they all got to choose as the 5. I gave my mum and dad one. Like it was cool. I got to give them something I made.
Well done.
Yeah. What does a lazy day look like for you?
Pajamas, couch, blanket. My guilty pleasure is The Sims. So if I can just play The Sims uninterrupted for a couple of hours, I'm so happy. Otherwise, I don't really like to watch TV in the day, but just lazing around home.
Yeah.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Not really getting dressed or.
Nice.
Yeah, that's usually.
That's like
usually a lazy day for me.
The theme that comes through on these lazy day questions is that nothing's planned.
Yeah.
And if I want to go for a run, I'll go for a run.
Yeah.
If I want to get up and do something but it's
otherwise no. Because there's no pressure, I guess. So if you want to just be lazy at home, you can do that.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Qualities you love about yourself.
That's a funny question to answer, isn't it? I don't know. I recently got told that I am quite thick-skinned, and I think that is a good quality to have. I've got lots of friends that that aren't, I guess, or that will take on things differently to how I would. So and I see how that impacts them. So I think that I'm lucky to be able to kind of like brush shit off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm quite light-hearted and have a pretty good sense of humour. So I think that's a good way to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess like I touched on earlier, I don't really think that I let myself get too affected by like stress and anxiety and things that can be really, really tough for people. So I think that's a good quality, which I'm grateful for really.
I'm so proud of you for just answering it. Heaps of people are like, oh, nothing. I don't think I love it.
Everyone's got something that they love about themselves.
It's just a Kiwi thing, but it's hard to say sometimes because we're like, oh, they won't. No one likes someone
it just
talking
feels
about
a bit
themselves.
stupid. Yeah. And we're really quick to be like, oh, you're so good at this and you're amazing at that and I love this about you. But
about yourself.
People will say the same to you. So take that on board. And,
Well, you should be very proud of what you've created.
Thank you.
I love coming here. My family love coming here. I tell everyone to come here.
We appreciate it and we love having you guys every time.
And thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah,
I know
no worries.
how busy
Thank
you
you.
are. But check it out. I think there's so much to learn from Kat today about not being perfect. Actually, is I reckon a really cool message to.
No one's perfect.
There's always something good to take. Like there's lots of bits, but I think that's a really good theme. Is do the best with what you've got. Don't sweat that small stuff. Control your controllables. So if it's out of your control,
yes, let it go.
Don't use yourself as a punching bag. And
I mean, within reason, if it's like something life or death, you should probably not just be like, oh well.
Yeah.
But I think if it's day to day, like,
it's out of your hands.
if it's out of your hands, what can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. It can control you or it can't. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Ka kite everyone. We'll see you next time.